Morning everyone. Ajit and Venkat. Okay, so Stantis is not going to join today because he's outside. Um, Fine. So let's continue. In the last session, I think we talked about the task flows, and then we started with introduction to cloud application integration. Right. So let us continue that. Yeah. In this particular, what application integration, I just talked about some theoretical part. Yeah. So now let me talk about service connector. Yeah. Which means in this particular what service connector, we can talk to external applications by using connector, right? Application or a file or database or whatever. Same concept codes could share in the context of services. So how do we connect it? One, by using WSDL, web services definition or description language. I think we have already used it as part of web services transformation. Second, we can also get it connect by using what Swagger. Yeah, Swagger is what a REST specification. Yeah, so that's where Swagger will be used for. Yeah, so there are multiple ways to create service connector. One by using WSDL, second by using XSD, third by using JSON, what Swagger, right? But there are multiple ways. Yeah. So example you can see here, ways to create service connector from web services. Yeah. We can get it created. So where you will have get and request and response. This is common thing for all types of connectors. Yeah. So that's what you can see steps. Response from web service. This is a request, this is a response. And then to create a service connector, so we need to get into this. I've just copied and pasted screenshots. Yeah. I'll share this presentation documentation also. Yeah. So we can just apply the input. Then in case if this particular service connector takes some parameter, we can also supply this as part of input tab. Then this is a URL and which takes a parameter, which is invoice ID, whatever, right? And then get the output. Output fields also you can just add it. So that's it. Then we can see HTTP status successful or whatever, right? So that's it. This is a screenshot where we used to create a service connector. Yeah. So let us see how we could do it practically. Let's get into that. So let's log on to this app integration. Okay. Which one is it? Oh, we need to select application integration. Okay. So now, first and foremost thing, we can understand simple process. I think we've already discussed, right? Like how to create a process and how to execute it. One from the Google Chrome and second from Postman. I think we have seen that. Yeah. Now, let us try to understand like how to create a service connector using a Swagger. Yeah. Swagger is a REST API representation. So to do that, which means to create a Swagger, we can get into administrator microservice. Yeah. And based on third party portal application, we can create a Swagger. For example, let us say there is a JSON type code. Can you see here? So this is the base URL where they expose REST API. See here. So this is a free API for testing and prototyping purpose, right? So, or we can also search for JSON type code. Yeah. Can you see here? Is a free online REST API that you can use whenever you need some fake data, whatever. So we can just click on that. It will take you there. Within that, there are multiple posts, right? So now if you want to get the data from this post, we can get it. Or if you want to get only one post or second post or whatever, right? We can specify. So now the question, this is the third party portal application, which is available in the form of what? REST API. Now from IICS, can we access this particular API or not? To do that, first step, we need to create a Swagger. Yeah. So which is the REST API specification, right? Now let's go to Swagger files within this administrator. Can you see here? Generate a Swagger definition for REST-based service. Remember that. Now we don't have anything here. It's empty. We are going to create it from the scratch. Yeah. So click on new and let us say Swagger test or whatever. So see, this there are histories already coming up because I have already given training other batches, right? So, but for you, you may not get the name, you can supply your own name. Yeah. Then supply the runtime environment, then supply the URL. Can you see here? So first thing, we need to supply the base URL. Yeah. Example here. Fine. So this is a base URL. Next, we can supply API path. Yeah. So slash post or whatever. So we can supply URL here actually. URL here. Then API base path is going to be what slash posts and API path slash one. So we are trying to use three parts here. This is the base URL. This is going to be the base path, and last one is what API path. Yeah. So that's it. And username password is not required here because it's a freely available web service, sorry, REST-based service without any authentication. So these two are not required. No token is also required. These are all authentication related things till this. Yeah. Next, it can accept what? JSON, format XML, Anyway, we are using JSON because Swagger, it can generate a JSON file at the end. If you have any header stuff, we can specify here. Similar query parameters. Now, operation ID also, we can specify, let's say, operation unique. So, unique ID, yeah. And then, yeah, if you have any JSON response file, you can upload it, or else you are just supplying the input. One of them should be done. So we have already supplied the input, right? That's it. You can just watch for some time and ask questions if you have any questions. Yeah? And where we are using what get, getting the data from what this particular web page, which is REST API. Yes, and then save it. Yeah, that's it. And then say close this. Yes. Okay, it's taking time. Yeah. See, now it is created successfully. You can see the view. Preview, right? This also can be closed. See, this is a Swagger test. Yeah. Now, if you want to download, see, download Swagger file, we can do that. And open that JSON file. See here, this is a Swagger, what you call specification in the sense, Swagger version, info, all that. Then what we supplied can be seen here. Host name, we give this, right? Base path is this, and API path is this. So in that, we are trying to get which is operation ID, operation unique. Then we expect what response, which is 200. If the HTTP status code is 200, then it's a successful operation. Remember that, right? Then we can see in the bottom definitions, which is a structure where we can see what multiple properties like user ID, title, and body. So this should match exactly with what we can see in the web page. Can you see? User ID, title, body. For four of them, we have got corresponding definition over here. User ID, title, and body. Yeah. So that's it. Like how you could able to see the definition over here. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. I hope it is clear. Now, once we are done with that, the next step is what? We can get into this app integration and see how we can create a service connector using the Swagger. Yeah. Okay. Now let us create a new service connector and see here service connector from Swagger. Yeah. And click on create. So service connector with a Swagger. So here, can you see here description optional? So test Swagger. Yeah. Then Swagger file. One, we can supply the URL, and second, we can also supply file because we have already downloaded, right? Let's say we are selecting file. Choose file. See, this is the one, right? We just have to select it. Yeah, and then click on next. See here, this is the URL, right? We gave, including post API base path. So here we got one. If we expand it, operation ID. That's it. Now click on next. And then see here, protocol is what? REST protocol. When we talked about architecture, right? We have seen that SOAP, HTTP, and also REST also. REST, it was not there in the diagram, but I have said it. Yeah. Now click on start import. See, import got completed. So this way, we could able to create a service connector using what? Swagger. Yeah. And now you can say finish. Can you see here? Here, host name is what? This one. Yeah. And then we can see actions. Yeah. Where operation unique or whatever, right? And click on input where we can supply the input required for this particular API if there are any inputs. Next, binding. Can you see here host name? We already have got host name here is a parameter. And then we can see the same thing here, post slash one. And verb we are using what? Get verb. Yes or no? Yeah. Now we can expect the output here. You can see operation unique, entire response. We are getting it in the sense all the properties data. Yeah. So we have seen the action which is based on this ID. Then input, we have already given input here which is the host name. And next binding which is a URL, and then output you could able to see here, and then test results. So test on cloud server. Now click on test. See here, we can see it is successful because HTTP status is what? 200. This is a complete URL, right? So if you just go and type, you'll have this one, right? That's it. See, same URL. We could able to see in IACS app integration. Now we can look at whether we got the result over here or not. Yeah. See response payload. You can just let me copy this in the notepad and compare the results of this with what uh, what we have in the browser, right? The first thing, ID 1. Yeah. So if you go and look at here, see ID second property, right? It is equal to 1, right? Next, title, sunt, art, whatever, right? So some other language doesn't matter for us. There is a title, and we got the result. See here, sunt, art, whatever. And then body, also we can see it here. See body, right? you are and ends with what architecto or whatever, right? So see here, architecto. That's it. And there's the last one, which is user ID, which is this one, right? So that also we can see over here, which is user ID one. Order-wise different, but we got the data. Yeah. We order, we don't need to worry, right? So this way, we could able to get the response from third-party REST API. Yeah. This is a REST response. Yeah. So we can also say this in different form. Yeah. So this is a response payload, right? Before that, let us start with what? REST request. Let me copy this. Yeah. And okay, I'll paste it in new notepad. Yeah. Can you see? Our main goal is what? To get the data from this REST API. Yes or no? I repeat, the main goal is what? To get the data from the REST API. It has got four properties, right? Yes or no? So we can see REST request is open here, open tag and close tag, right? That's it. Now we can see here, this is a REST method, which is going to be get. Get is a verb, which means you are going to pull the properties related to that particular API. So that's it. Yeah? So that's what we can see. Oh, that's request. Now for that, we can see the response. I think we've already seen that payload. Same thing, we can also see the complete header, all that, yeah, as part of what? REST response. Let me copy and paste it here. See, here you can see last four properties, right? So this is exactly similar to what we have in this particular third-party portal application. Same order. Order doesn't matter anyway. So we got the same result. Yeah. Last four, right? So that's it. This is a header part, which we don't need to worry. This is a header part. And status code is 200 because it is successful. That's it. So this way, we could able to get the response from what? Third party REST API. I hope it is clear, right? So this is what for post 1. If you want the result for post 2 example, let us say uh, 2. Now 2 is what? See, ID is 2, right? Now data is also different. Yeah. So now let us see same user, but different ID, different title, different body. In that case, what we need to do? So we need to start looking at by changing this particular post URL. Instead of 1, we can have a 2, then save. Yeah. And then test result. See now, if you go and look at REST response, here you should get what? Different result for ID2. We can see here also. We can scroll down. See here, ID2, see, script, title, body, it is different. So that's it. Like how one can start obtaining the response based on what the request, which is get request. Yeah. So similarly, you can also get some other post also. Whatever post that you want, we can get it. So on the fly, let's say 3. See, third post is different. And here we just have to change the URL, which is instead of 2, we can give 3 and save it. Now test it. We are testing this connector, see whether we could able to get the response of what we expect or not. See here, this is a response payload only if you want the properties results, or if you want a complete thing, we can see it as part of REST response. So ID3, title, and then body. Yeah. So that's it. Like how one can start getting the response over here. Yes or no? So that's it. Like how this particular what you call REST would work. Yeah. So with this, we know how IHCs can obtain the data from third party REST API. There's a procedure, we just followed it, nothing else. Correct, no? If you want to publish, you can just publish it so that we can, as part of creation of a process, we can make use of it. See, now that we just started off creating one simple service connector. Yeah. Similarly, so we can also create another service connector based on what from the scratch, which is service connector using form. Form means from the beginning we can take care of everything. Yeah. So like we created task flow right from the beginning. Similar to this also using REST or SOAP API, whatever it is. For example, I'll just close this. Let's say we have got FedEx. So FedEx they expose some what you call API. Now our service. We just need to understand like how to get that particular. Oh my god, we can't access this. Huh? Okay. Some tracking number. Yeah. So we can give some tracking number and get the result. If there is a data, we can get it, or else you won't get it. Yeah. No record for this number. This is what you'll get, right? So I think I have some trouble. Come on. Okay. Here I think I kept this code. Can you see here? This is the URL, right? So I've just copied here step-by-step instructions like what we need to follow to get this particular service connector configured. Yeah. So let us say this is the ID. See whether there is a data for this or not. Yeah. Looks like more than one shipment is there. That's okay. But there is some data here, right? So duplicate results found, whatever. So there is a data here, right? So which means label created, delivered, label, whatever. There is a data. Now, can we get this particular data from IACS or not? That's going to be the question mark, right? Answer is yes. Let us see how to get it done from the beginning. First thing, so we need to start what we call getting into creation of this service connector using what? A form. Yeah. First step, right? Then click on create. Yeah. Now we can supply service connector from the scratch. Yeah. That's the first thing. Then if you want to add this what I call tracking number, we can just add it here. Yeah. So example. So we can give the same name. Tracking number, description, Then that number you can just copy and paste. Example, let me give wrong number just to start with. Fine, and then save it. Yeah. Connection properties. Right now, let us go to what actions. Yeah. So where you can just click on plus. Yeah. In that we can see action name. That's a FedEx connection. Whatever you want, you can just give it. And here also third party. Anything can be given here. Next, we can go to input tab where input fields also we can just add it. So which is going to be, let's say, tracking number. Tracking number. Is it same actually? Yeah. We have to give the same name because with the parameter, yes, tracking number, this one, right? Make sure that tracking inside XML also it should be same. Yeah. So yes, ID is perfect. And then we can give some test with some number, then save it. Yeah. Step by step we are doing it, which means we are just applying the tracking number as input to this FedEx. We should get what? The item details in case there are any details, or else no. Right. Now let's go to binding and supply the URL, which is blinding URL we need to supply, right? So here we can take FedEx URL, this one. Can you see here? This one we need to supply. Copy and paste it here, right? Now, this instead of get, we'll be using what post because we are going to post with tracking number. Then FedEx service should be executed. Then we should get the response. Earlier we just pulled, which is using get. Now we are doing what? But for a given input, we should get the result. In that case, we need to post. Remember that, right? So now, once we are done with that, authentication type, custom or whatever, binding type, here you can specify custom binding. In a sense, we are going to supply the input in the form of what? Chunk of data. That chunk includes, can you see here? There's a soap and XML chunk. Here you can see what? Authentication details to connect it to the FedEx, like key, password. You'll get it from the page. Then web authentication details and client details also, like account number and meter number. Then we can see language, all that. This is a template that we get it from FedEx. Then we can say tracking number. See, this is a dollar, right? Parameter. So this complete chunk will be sent along with tracking number to the user. Then copy and paste this complete block. That's why we selected what? Custom. I just copied and pasted. So this is what we need to do. Next, we can supply here output fields. Here we can add, let's say what you want to expect. Let's say example, city. If there is a city, then we can get this city data. Yeah, that's it. Similarly, you can also add others also, yeah? Other fields. First, let us see whether we get city or not. Yeah, that's it. So which means we just need to get the information of service from third party portal, which is in this case, let's say FedEx, and then start getting it configured from the beginning, like what we did. We supplied tracking number, we supplied here output field is this, and action is just a name here. Input is an input field, binding is the URL post, and we are also supplying what chunk of inputs like meter number, the web authentication details plus client authentication details. Yes, sir. So that's what we did over here, right? Then what we expect as a result of this particular what FedEx we are trying to take a look at, and click on test results. So click on test. See, it is successful. Same as earlier, right? For this particular URL. Now we can take a look at the result here. Response payload. Yeah. See, it is requests were successfully processed, but there is no data over here. It's empty, right? We don't have a data here. Yeah. For this particular tracking number. So we gave this tracking number. For that, there is no corresponding item form because we checked even in this particular FedEx web page also. Yes or no? No. So that's it. So similar, we can also see REST request also. Let us see that. Let me copy this. Yeah. And then paste it here in order to look at what I call what it contains. See here, we supplied web authentication data, username, password, then client details, account number, meter number, then we can see language, all that. And input, can you see here, it got populated, which is what 111, whatever we have given, right? Which means this parameter got replaced with the value that is applied over here. So that's what we can see here. That's it. Like how one can supply the input from this particular user. This is a request. For this particular request, then we could able to get the response that we are going to see now. Can you see here? REST response. Yeah. So here we can copy and paste. If there is a data, we could able to see it, or else it will be empty. Yeah. So if you look at here, see tracking number is this. For this tracking, we don't have data anyway. But look, let's come from the stop. This is a header anyway, like what we have seen in JSON also, right? This is a header. Yeah. Then header got closed here, right? Then starts our content. Yeah. This is a URL, right? We are using this FedEx URL. So it is successful. So request got processed successfully. So we can see localized message. If it is some other language, right? This will be different from this. Then we can see transaction detail. This is what we are doing. So get the customer details for a given tracking number. And language is what? English. Localized code is, let's say, US. Yeah. Next, we can see version, all that, minor, major version. Then complete tracking details. So here we can see the tracking number, all that. It is successful. Then duplicate web build, nothing, no entry, right? That's why it's false. Then severity tracking details. If there are any errors, you can also see that. See here, this tracking number cannot be found. You check the number or contact the sender. Yeah. So that's it. So for this particular tracking number, there's no data. Which number? This one. That's it. Yeah. The rest are just default, what I call fields data. That's it. So this is how one can obtain the response for a given tracking number. Yeah. So that's what we could see over here. Yes or no? Yeah. So that's it. Like how one can start obtaining the result over here, right? So next step is what we need to start supplying the right tracking number and see whether we could get the result of what we expect or not. So let's go here. So, yes, this one, right? We got multiple details of the same item, right? Same thing you can also see here. First thing, copy and paste and save it. This is the first thing. And we can also supply what you also test with. Copy and paste, and then save it. Yeah. So that's all. Now we can, if you want, we can get published so that we can make use of it wherever you want. Publish means others can make use of it. Nothing beyond that. Now go to actions and select test results and click on test button. Yeah. See, it is successful. But what we expect here, we expect what proper REST response. Yeah. Let's copy this and let this be there and paste it here. Yeah. Now can you see here? But before that, we can also see output fields that we have not checked. So output we expect some data, right? City empty is there, which means there is no data. Yeah. This is also fail. Huh? We don't have data. That is correct only. Tracking number. We gave the right number. Oh, this is surprise. 1 second. So there is no data. We copied this one, right? REST response. Where is that ID? Oh, there's an error code. It is a failure actually. Unexpected error. It didn't process. Yeah. That is a problem. But here it is processed. Yeah. Because there are multiple responses. It's not processed. No, we should get all. That's not right. Because it's successful, right? So we should get the result as expected. Yeah. So let us see with another number. There is a data, I should get it. There is no doubt. This it is success, but there is no data. Let us give some other input. No, this is failure. It's not processing. There's a problem actually. Sometimes these things will not work. These services, right? Even commercial sourcing will have some problem. Yes. Results. We are getting duplicate images. This guy is not pulling. Binding is right, post is right, custom. This is getting replaced anyway because we've already seen it, right? Here, when look at REST request, let us see. So here it is taken. phone number on. See, it took that, right? Is it same? Copy. Okay. See, there is a problem, scheduled maintenance. So that's why from ISES, you're unable to get. We'll try to execute it tomorrow. Yeah. So from their side, it's okay. From outside, it's not allowing. And you've got the result. It's already tested earlier many times. So we expect test successful with the data also should be returned. You can try that and you'll get it anyway. So this is already done several times. Yeah. So link, whatever, some failure is coming here, right? Unexpected internal error, yeah, because of maintenance, whatever, right? So that's fine. So this is how one can create what you call service connector based on two ways. Yeah, one is by using a Swagger, second by using what from the scratch. Yeah, so that's it. And there is another way to create a service connector by using what WSDL. I think we have already used it, right? When we talked about web services transformation, that time we understood like how to create a service connector from WSDL. Yeah, I think we have done that, right? So how to create a service connector from what WSDL? Yeah. So that's it. So we'll see that and tomorrow, like WSDL part plus, I'll also talk about how to create a process, the different what I call steps that we have within this process flow. Yeah? Like we talked about task flow, right? Similarly, process flow also, we could get the job done. So here we have got assignment, task, create, service step, all that. So process, milestone, throw, receive, more or less similar to task flow only. But here we focus on process oriented and we can publish this and convert this to API. Anybody can access this. Yeah? Like yesterday we did one empty one, right? So tomorrow also we will talk about different steps we have within this process flow so that you will understand like, how to get it created with all the steps. Fine. So I think this is enough for today. If I start that this particular topic, right, we may not be able to finish it. That's why I'm just stopping here. So we'll continue from here tomorrow, where we are going to focus on this, how to get it created. I'll also try to talk about some cloud-based stuff. Let us see. First, let's create it. And after that, we'll talk about that also. Fine. So that's all for today, Venkat and Ajit. So we'll continue from it tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks
Yeah,
to
okay. Thank you.
yeah. Bye.